Hi there and welcome to episode 132 of the ADHD Adults Podcast. I'm James Bran. James Bran. It's another one, isn't it? It's another one. It's another one.
I thought you said Bran.
I did. I did say Bran.
Oh,
It's
Bran.
Yeah.
James Bran.
Fucked it. I fucked it within 5 seconds of the podcast starting. That's just going to be another one. If you two
Come
said
on,
it,
Bran.
it
Oh, James, we've got a tech guy there can take that out in post.
He won't though, will he? I'm James
won't.
Brown, the man who recently lost a T-shirt while wearing it. And as usual, I'm joined by Dr. Alex Connor, who collects T-shirts from the operas he attends as souvenirs. I don't know if they sell T-shirts. And also the woman who has more slogan T-shirts than Greenpeace, Mrs ADHD. Alex, hi.
I would love an opera T-shirt. Or I've got a clever joke. Or a David Letterman. Either way, because, Oprah. No.
Yeah. If you have to explain it, it's often not that clever. And
No.
Sam, hi.
Hi.
Lovely.
Fab.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
A reminder, I guess we started the podcast because we really wanted to face a barrage of criticism for saying ADHD isn't a quirky yet terrific gift. So now we do a second episode a week because it turns out there's a lot more people who are frankly ungrateful for having an amusing and entertaining disability. And we've got time for it now because we really don't have fucking time for it, but we do it anyway. And Sam doesn't know what time is. James?
Okay, thank you. This inflamed pilonidal sinus of a podcast is also a tragedy in 3 parts. We'll discuss how the week between podcasts has been from our perspective as peeps with ADHD and people involved in the ADHD.
What the hell is a pilonidal sinus? You got me there. Is that real?
Brush my teeth.
So, well, there's two things coming at me there.
Sorry.
Like
Ding.
Exactly. A pilonidal sinus, Alex, is when an ingrown hair in and around the cleft of the buttocks or between the anus and the scrotum, in a male at least, turns into a large boil and has to be cut, drained, and packed. I once kicked my brother in the arse so hard he got a pilonidal sinus.
Talk about flex.
It's horrible.
That sounds like it should be on Would I Lie to You? Well, I once kicked my brother so hard in the anus.
So hard he got a pilonidal sinus.
Is that because we've got this bilateral evolutionary system? Humans are symmetrical, so that's like where we line up or something.
It's just
I'm not symmetrical.
It's just hair. It's just hairs. It's just there are hairs there, and hairs often can become ingrown in that area, infected, and turn into to boil-like issues. Anyway,
I feel like we're spending too long on this. Let him carry on.
132 episodes, Sam, and I'm finally interested in something James has said.
Amazing. We will answer questions from the community in part 2, and then we'll talk about this week's podcast theme. So, as always, I'll ask you how your week was, and nobody will ask me apart from Sam. So, Sam, how was your week?
Mixed. It was bad, and then it got better. I lost my AirPods, but it turned out they were in the bag that I'd already looked in 3 times. I lost James's passport, but we managed to find it after searching his office and my office for 3.5 hours morning last week.
Which of the 2 offices was it in, Sam? Just out of interest.
It was in my office.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Forgotten.
Yeah.
I let my petrol run below 0 when I was picking Jack up the other night, and
Negative petrol.
We managed to coast down a hill. I scraped my car that same night as well, actually. That doesn't matter. Last night I struggled to sleep because my heart was shaking a lot. Wasn't having panic attacks, but I was struggling to breathe because, it feels so weird and takes your breath away a little bit. Kirsty called me, and I don't usually answer phone calls, let alone video calls, but I did, and we were having a lovely chat. And then I was about to say, actually, we should set up a meeting to talk about this. And then it dawned on me that this was the meeting that we had set up. And then the next day, I completely forgot about another meeting with a potential volunteer. And then I missed another meeting that I set up with Kirsty again. What's happening? I'm trying to get a plan together and get everything sorted, but my brain won't work for me because obviously
sound right.
This is a wonderful amalgamation of both of the questions in this section.
I haven't even got to the second question yet.
Well, I know, but it's the stuff that you're saying clearly fits into that category as well.
It does,
doesn't it?
I've not been taking my meds as well, and my estrogen because I was sleeping a lot. Anyway, what about you, James?
Can we just tell people that the shaky heart thing is not literally the heart? That's how anxiety feels. People always referred to it as
palpitations.
Yeah, no, it's not, because that is a heart. That is a physical effect on the heart. Whereas anxiety feels like it's affecting the heart.
So Sam sometimes get paroxysmal orthostatic atrial fibrillation. So when she lies down on tachycardia, when she lies down, suddenly her heart can really increase its rate, and she can have a little
all the way
bit
through
of
the night. And it's when I lie on my left hand side, I can feel my heart beating, and it was just like shaking at times. So yeah, that
shaky heart.
Not panic attack. It was just palpitations. That's what it was.
Yeah. Carry on,
James.
Doing my bit. Yeah, carry on doing my bit. I've been getting a bit of anxiety. Interestingly, like halfway through the day, I think I said this after I had my bone scanned the other week. It's odd that you have like a good morning and you think you're on fire, and then all of a sudden,
is it odd, James? Anxiety. Or is it literally what your disorder is?
No, I know, but it is. I find it odd because
it's really it's a joke. It is. Yeah, like morning you and afternoon you completely different, right? Horrible.
Yeah. So my routine in general, I think, is improving in some ways. Having this kind of a short list of daily tasks, which I can tick off, really helps. And every day writing that list of tasks really helps. And the stuff that stays on there moves on to the next day. What's difficult is obviously now I am coaching more, and I'm having to. I fucking hate this. I'm having to kind of brand myself a bit, and I'm doing things called Coaching Corner on Instagram. So little short videos of tips. I know, little short videos of tips, etc. But it goes against everything I've ever stood for, because I've always just not really felt a lot of love for branding people who brand themselves, but they have to because they're making a living. And now I'm doing that. I just want to vomit all over myself all the time.
I guarantee 1 year from now, Sam, James is going to be diagnosing Prince Harry in a documentary and saying, I can hack your superpower.
We can definitely agree that's not going to happen. And then the last thing I'll say, it was interesting this week because we had a chat about turnips. Jack's with us at the minute. And Jack's with us at the minute, and we were talking about I don't know how we got into the subject, but basically Sam grew up in Stoke, obviously, and at Halloween they didn't have pumpkins, they had turnips. And Sam didn't think pumpkins were a real thing. She thought they were made up. And obviously carving a turnip is difficult. But the thing that made me laugh the most was she said that you could tell that the wealthy families because they had more than one turnip.
Okay, that's amazing.
It's true. You go up and but I was saying to James that like we'd be there as like 5 and 6 year old kids, and Mum would go on, carve your turnips, and we're there at the kitchen table with these really sharp knives, and turnips are really fucking hard, and we're bullshitting all over ourselves. There was just blood everywhere trying to carve our turnips. It was hilarious, but I said it came in useful because we could mix it with the Tipp-Ex, because all of our costumes were made from bin bags, so we'd have like Tipp-Ex on the bin bags to make a skeleton. But you could also have paint for devils and stuff like that, and green for witches.
Can I just add that as someone that considers himself English rather than British, because I always think because Scottish and Welsh have got these fantastic cultures that I'm not a part of, and I don't think they'd like me, appropriating. I always think of myself as English. Turnips for Halloween is a massive part of English heritage for hundreds, if not thousands, of years, and pumpkins is a really new thing. That is part of our culture, and we kind of ignore English culture because we're embarrassed, because of the unpleasantness we definitely did do.
And
also because carving turnips is shit. Anyway, Alex,
it is shit. It's really hard.
How was your week?
It was very nice, thank you. Yeah, I finally managed to subside my anxiety with help from two, not friends, but people I know. And I was on holiday and it really needed it, and I was supported in not doing a lot. Holidays when self-employed are tricky when you've got ADHD because no one's paying you. Having a full-time job with a boss, though, I would say is trickier. So it's always a balance, and that's been difficult. As you both know, I'm getting help rearranging some of my priorities at the moment, from help from knobheads, but help all the same. So yeah, that's been an interesting thing. Good. It's so I shouldn't. I don't really talk about my family, do I? But my son decided to go away before he goes off to university.
Oh, you told us, yeah.
He went to Albania, Kosovo,
I know,
Istanbul.
you told us last week. Did he have a good time?
He was there for 4 weeks, just traveling around this whole of crazy. They're lovely, and it turns out I'm accidentally racist about these countries.
I thought that last week when you were saying it sounds awful.
Yeah. It's genuinely wonderful. I've now done my homework and about 5 different former Soviet countries. Massive apology. He did send me a photo of himself at Besiktas in the middle of a full stadium watching the football, looking like, because he looks like Hitler Youth. He looks like a CIA infiltrator in like the Besiktas Ultras or something. It's a very funny photo. Probably shouldn't share any of this information. So yeah, good. Thank you, James. Right, Sam, you've probably answered it and you won't answer it anyway. But what stupid thing you've been doing this week instead of what you were supposed to be doing?
Well, I should have been getting shit done for the charity and the podcast and my actual job, but I found out that the boiler was installed incorrectly, so I got hyperfixated on finding all the paperwork that's scattered all over the house because we don't keep everything in the same place, and trying to find what my rights are, and then emailing the company who couldn't give a fuck. I also should have been relaxing. I ended up, because I said last week that I burnt out, so I booked most of the week off last week. So I should have been relaxing, and I just couldn't stop doing stuff. And so the minute I stopped sleeping, because I was sleeping for quite a while, I just kept doing stuff for the podcast and the charity again. And obviously my mind was still completely frazzled. So everything was taking so long and everything that I was doing was wrong and I couldn't work out why. And then I was getting really upset and frustrated because I was wasting the day when I should have been relaxing, but I don't know how to relax. And then James had gone to a talk in Brighton and I didn't go because it might have been too much for me, too stressful for me, and I needed to rest. So I stayed at home, and then James messaged me to say that he was feeling really anxious, so he cancelled his coaching clients for the day. And then I got really stressed and anxious because he was away on his own and he was staying in the murder hostel, and he was really anxious and I wasn't there with him, and he was traveling on his own, and that would hurt his back, plus the bed would hurt his back, and then it'd be shit for him and he wouldn't be able to sleep and he'd have to travel back, so he'd be tired and in pain and still anxious, and the knock-on effects then would set him back, and we'd be in the same horrible place that we keep going to, that where he's he has all his migraines and everything. And so I just wanted him home. Plus, when you cancel coaching clients, the system doesn't make it obvious to them what's happening and they can't rebook. So I was really panicking about that and about money in general, and then hating myself for getting so involved and not just leaving James to it because I'm such a control freak. And I got myself really worked up and hysterical. And then I had a complete meltdown because the toilet lid was up and I can't cope with the thought that all those germs had just covered the entire room and the chain was flushed. And then the blind fell down and it all became too much because then I had to disinfect the downstairs toilet and put the blind up on top of all the stuff I already couldn't do. So I thought I'll go and see my family because the state of the house won't stress me out then, and it always cheers me up seeing them. And wow, first of all,
James, does she breathe with a kind of gill system like fish?
How does she manage to incredible. It's incredible, isn't it? It's incredible.
Anyway, I got to mum and dad's, and first of all, my sister-in-law wanted me to cut my nephew's hair, and he's disabled and he's got lots of sensory issues, and hair and vibration of clippers and a hot day, it was awful for him. So he just screamed and screamed at me and hated me, and I got really upset. I even changed my clothes thinking that might, but he's blind. I don't know why that thought it was that. Anyway, he was really upset and screaming at me, so really upset me because I didn't want to be that person. And then my brother opened up to me to get me to help him, but my brain was mush, so he ended up screaming at me and saying I can't call myself Mrs ADHD if I don't know about ADHD. I ended up crying hysterically, and then basically found out that my whole family just think that I'm leaning into the neurodivergent thing too much and that I'm doing things that I wasn't doing before, and they don't realize that it's because I've stopped masking in front of them. And they think I'm doing new things, but I've just felt more comfortable enough to unmask in front of them. So that really, really hurt me. And that was all in one day, by the way.
Oh, shit.
What?
I was coming in with a... So that was Monday. How was Tuesday?
That was literally all one day, yeah.
Damn it. I was so excited about that being a joke.
Yeah, it wasn't a joke. That's my actual life. What about you, Alex?
That thing of unmasking and people thinking They don't. Yeah. People don't realize we're masking for them to make their lives easier, and when we're not doing it, there will be relationship loss because of that, and it is true. At the same time, I think I do sometimes overinterpret what is ADHD and what is just being an Alex, and that's a really difficult. We don't know, do we? But you're right; it's nobody's goddamn business, is it? Yeah, good stupid thing. Women's World Cup. That's I get very invested.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that earlier. What was it you were saying?
I'm not saying that. That was an in the breaks joke that I cannot do. I bloody love it. I do. I do think that all the Women's World Cup teams agree to search for and find the shortest person they can to go in goal. It's weird. It's the only thing.
In goal.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
Are you
experience at all? That's amazing.
I absolutely no. They're not like humans. They're like cats. They're unbelievable. These professional goalies. That's not
James, relevant. You were going to interrupt with something. Then what were you going to say?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't. No.
You were. We've just talked over you. Go on.
James, do you support England in the World Cup or Romania? Transylvania is.
Fair play. I didn't expect that. I will give you credit. About one in 40 of your jokes lands for me, and that was one of them, Al. Well done, mate.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. What about you, James? I guess we have to ask you, even though we don't care.
So I'll try and answer the question as set. Sam, I was fascinating during Sam's bits that both sets of answers are just pretty much stuff that's gone wrong for me this week, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the question.
I know. I love it in a way.
I tried my best to say I should have been relaxing, but instead I was doing this. I tried my best to frame it that way.
That was one sentence in 450 sentences that you said very quickly.
Although to be fair, James, I would maintain it was all one sentence.
That's true. That is true. There was no verbal punctuation. So I, as people know, I tend to lose things. There's a game about it, and my annual eye test is required. I feel like my eyesight has got worse. I've actually bought my second magnifying glass. Fucking hell, I'm old. To look at ingredients on things because they're that fucking small. I have to use a magnifying glass, and I lost one, obviously.
God, this is gold.
So I went to the opticians, and it turns out my eyes have got better, not worse, and that's probably why using the glasses I've got, they're not working as well. But I didn't let them.
More virgin blood, maybe.
But yeah, possibly. Yeah, it's hard to find in Dudley. But I didn't want, like last time, to let them trick me in rabbit ears into buying £400 worth of bifocals. So I just kind of got one pair, which the company can pay for, and walked out. And immediately couldn't find my car. Now I'd parked in the same car park that I normally park in, and I'd walked the same route to the opticians. But I was walking along happily, and then I just thought, "Hang on a minute, where's the car park?" And then I walked around for about 15 minutes. It's not a big town centre, Dudley. Walked around for about 15 minutes before realising there's an app on my phone that tells me the last place I drove to. So 15 minutes of walking around before going, "Oh, hang on, it'll tell me, won't it?" And then I'd walked past that car park 2 or 3 times while I was looking for it.
Oh, yeah.
And remember, I've got a bright fucking blue car, which stands out.
Yeah, you have, yeah. Clown car, isn't it, yours?
It was ludicrous. So
I take a photo of my car every time I leave it anywhere with like landmarks.
I do that, but then I always forget that I've taken a photo.
You've taken a photo.
Yeah, it's just for evidence. That's just for evidence, though, isn't it, Al? It's just
Bev, who we used to work with, James, still do. She told me yesterday that she got home on the bus from shopping, and her daughter phoned her up and said, "How come your car's in town with a parking ticket on it?"
Amazing.
Anyway, do you want to carry on your personal reflections, James?
I'm done. No, I'm done. That was it. I'm done.
Okay, then thanks for that, both. We're taking a break, and in part, we will be back with questions and thoughts from the ADHD adult. From the ADHD adults community.
No. Yes. Alex, hi.
Hi. What's up? Hello, Governor. Jesus already. Will you be my Valentine?
4.
Oh, for God's sake.
Welcome back to episode 132 of the ADHD Adults. This is one of our special Thursday or Friday or something Who Knows Podcasts Part 2. As always, we're taking questions from the ADHD adult community from some kind of form. Is that right, Sam? Some kind of form.
On the website, the ADHDadults.UK, we have 3 forms on there. One to submit letters, one to submit questions, and one to submit ideas for future podcast episodes.
Some kind of form, as I said. Right, first question. Are you ready? This is from Katie, and it says, improbably, I just wanted to say how much I'm enjoying your podcasts. I'm currently waiting for diagnosis. My son is being assessed through school, and it made me realize that I might have ADHD. We've heard that a lot. I'm currently swinging between I 100% have this and I'm an imposter. We hear that a lot too. My question for you, oblique the team, is about functional mushrooms. Coincidentally, I work with 2 functional mushrooms. I don't say that. I keep seeing recommendations for mushroom teas, etc., and saying they really help ADHD. Is there any scientific evidence to support this, or is it marketing bullshit? Thanks,
James.
smiley face. Katie.
Yeah.
Are we allowing James to do one on metabolism? Want me to send you some notes, some crib notes, James?
Fuck, piss off. What I would say is I'm going to be generous first and then emotionally honest second. I will be generous and say that there is currently no evidence that functional mushrooms such as lion's mane are effective at treating the symptoms of ADHD. That's the generous part. The emotionally honest part is that there are so many different products, services, apps, compounds, supplements that you will see marketed to you on your timeline because of the way in which algorithms work that will say, if you download this app, it will organize your calendar and help your ADHD. This app will make you more effective. Drink this mushroom tea and it's great for these symptoms. It's a completely unregulated sector. They can say whatever they want without any evidence of it working. And most of it is probably fucking snake oil. That doesn't mean that taking a nootropic or an adaptogen or lion's mane, it doesn't mean it doesn't work, but at the minute there is no evidence that it does. So it's one of those things, if you want to try it, fine, if you can afford to, but don't expect that somebody recording a video with a beard saying, yeah, no, this one's great for the hyperactivity side of ADHD.
Oh yeah, go fuck yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, it really does piss me off. Right, functional mushrooms doesn't mean anything. That's the other thing. What does it fucking mean? It doesn't mean anything. There's several kingdoms of fungus, one of which would be penicillium, where we got penicillin from, the first antibiotic that saved 100 million lives. And if you've got any kind of infection and you take bucket loads of penicillium, do you know what will happen? Nothing will happen. It won't help you in any way because that's not how it works. There's not enough of it. That's why Fleming couldn't find. He didn't think that there was any value in his discovery. You've got to be really, really careful. Just because there's something in a thing doesn't mean it's enough to help us. James, it really, really pisses me off.
Same.
You functional mushroom, you.
Okay, Sam, do you want to add anything?
Yes, some people say that it works for them. So if it doesn't and you want to try it, try it.
Absolutely.
It's individual, isn't it? It's all anecdotal. I think that's the thing, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is.
An evidence-based podcast.
Yeah, even if it's the placebo effect and it helps you, that's fine. I think the annoyance is that the people that are selling things they know has no evidence, as opposed to people that might try something and say that it works.
I know. I actually saw people were selling this like patch that's got essential oils on it, and they were saying, put this patch on your child's clothes and it'll cure their ADHD. And I've read the comments expecting them to all be negative, and they were all like, does this work on adults? And they were going, yeah. Right. And loads of people were saying, it hasn't got lavender in it, has it? Because I don't like lavender. And they were just repeating the ingredients, but leaving lavender out and going, it's got all these ingredients out, it'll be fine for you. And I thought, you're just lying. I don't like anyway.
And we're desperate, aren't we? We're desperate for answers.
Yeah,
we are. It is. It's a desperate market for people, and it fucks me, particularly when the mushrooms aren't the thing that annoy me the most. The apps are. When you see these people saying this app will organize your day, so it'll put tasks in order. You're not going to fucking stick to it just because an app said do this at 10 o'clock. You're not going to do it at 10 o'clock.
Have you tried a planner?
Exactly. That's all it is.
It's just that.
It's making money off the back of vulnerable people. Anyway, question 2 from Curious Truckle. I'm not sure if this has been expanded on or not. because I keep forgetting about the Discord channel. No idea why. Laughing emoji. Anyway, I know it was touched on, ding, in an episode ages ago. That wasn't my ding, by the way.
No,
That
it
was
says
Furious
ding.
Struggles.
I love that.
I know, but the listeners can't see that, Alex.
No, I was just happy,
was...
Joe. I'm just happy that they wrote ding.
It was touched on, ding, in an episode ages ago, but I'd love to know more about the connection between ADHD and hypermobility. As after a lifetime of injuries, a physio finally told me I have hypermobility and what that is. Also, is being clumsy an ADHD trait? Is it part of being inattentive? I'm forever dropping stuff, walking into things, tripping over things. You get the picture, Alex.
It's a really good one. So ADHD can look like clumsiness, first of all, partly because of inattention and hyperactivity. If you're moving around a lot, you're just statistically more likely to hit something, and if you're not paying attention. But at the same time, as we all know, dyspraxia and ADHD are both probably from a similar root cause of neurodevelopmental disorder, and so they're comorbid. You're more likely to have both. I'm not at all clumsy or dyspraxic. I only have the ADHD part. I've got other stuff. So it's more likely, I think. And from a hypermobility perspective, James, you've done more recently than me on this, but I think it's growing, isn't it? The evidence is still growing. It's still more evidence needed. It
is, yeah. So there are, if you like, there are, I don't want to say levels, but there are different, if you like, forms of hypermobility. One can have hypermobile joints, but kind of at the extreme is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, or EDS. And people with ADHD are between 5 and 7 times more likely to have EDS and are significantly more likely to have hyperflexible joints. So I know that, Alex, you had chatted to me a while ago about this link with migraines, this potential link with migraines and hyperflexibility being collagen formation. So it absolutely is something, hyperflexible joints, that is found at a higher frequency of people with ADHD. Sam?
Sorry, I don't know what hyperflexible mean. I don't know what any of these things mean. So I was just looking up that syndrome.
Okay.
You know, like super double jointed people.
Oh yeah, I haven't
that.
got that. I can't even touch my toes.
Okay.
Anyway, question 3.
Good.
Do we all forget to go to the toilet for hours on end? I got called weird for not having. Oh, this is from Shagwan256, by the way.
I'm pretty sure it should be Shagwan.
Okay. Do we all forget to go to the toilet for hours on end? I got called weird for not having been for a wee for 8 hours once. I'm a 35-year-old male. And sometimes when I'm busting to go for the other, I'll forget and the feelings will subside for hours. I also understand that it's really unhealthy for my body, but I've been like it since I was a child. Oh, yes, all of this. Somebody.
Go on, you, Sam. Go on.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do this all the time. I mostly because I'm too busy to get. And in fact, the other day I would go for a wee, and I needed a shit, and I'd think I haven't got time to shit now, so I'd just scrunch it back up inside my body and carry on, because I literally didn't have time to shit that day. So all the time, and I won't go to the toilet for fucking all day long, and I'm bursting. And sometimes I'm like this, but I'm like, no, I've got to finish this task. And quite often I'll give it as a reward for doing a task. I'll be like, you can't have a wee until you've done these 5 million things, and then you can have a wee. So, and then sometimes I do forget about it after a while. So yeah, and if I'm in hyperfocus, I won't wee or shit at all. What about you, James?
James, do you scrunch your shit back up inside your body biologically?
It's luckily this is something that doesn't affect me. So, Alex,
amazing.
Is that not normal?
No, not at all. I actually have the opposite problem, that if I need to wee or poo, my ADHD won't let me think about anything else.
Oh,
so, and I find that it's really, really annoying. People always say that I have a sparrow bladder, but it's not. It's just because I can't think about anything else. But I've heard it from loads and loads of ADHD people, what you're describing, Sam, not the second part. That's insane. The first bit of not remembering. What I will say is, it really isn't healthy to not wee when you need to wee. It puts pressure on the muscle walls of the the bladder and the sphincters, and they sometimes don't recover from that, so you can get incontinence. So it's a really good idea to wee if you need to wee.
But what if you don't know you need to wee because you're too
Yeah,
intent
of course.
on what you're doing?
There's no shame here, Sam. It's not about feeling bad about yourself. It's just
I don't want to be incontinent.
So don't play the game with yourself, because if you're playing the game, you know you need to wee.
Oh, right. Okay, so I should stop that.
Yeah, so instead of setting yourself up for loss...
Not shitting, though, is fine, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's different with poos.
Okay, that's fine.
In fact, if you're straining to poo, you should probably wait.
I never strain. I have to push everything out, even my wee. I have to push down on my bladder and push against it to wee. I'm all fucked up. Sorry.
Downstairs. And James, you say you two haven't had sex for 3 days. That's weird.
He's not attracted to me anymore for some reason. Anyway.
Thanks for that, Shagwan. Taking a break. In part 3, we're going to do thoughts on this week's theme, which was metabolism, my expert interest, and thoughts on the podcast.
Strong trumpet.
Okay, want me to bring us back?
It's
you?
I can't remember. Let's do it quickly though, because I want to have some time before this meeting.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's the wrong person, isn't it? It should be you. Oh
what?
Crap.
What?
Part 3 should be in green, not blue. Or part 2 should. So yes, you bring us back, Sam.
Coming back in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to episode 132 of the ADHD Adults Podcast, where we are talking about the week since the episode on ADHD and metabolism.
Are we?
James, what made you choose the last idea for a theme?
Fat crabs, actually, because I realised that when I get fat crabs, it's not just because lots of people have said, "Oh, is it kind of prickly heat, etc." But I've realised I actually get them when I'm at my fattest, which is what I remember. That's why I called them fat crabs, not just because my fat itches. So I am probably at that point around 100 kilos when I'm at my fattest, which means I'm very unhappy. It affects my mental health. But just getting into a routine of trying to not binge eat, to eat healthily, to get any form of exercise is so hard for both me and the script guy. So that's why I thought it'd be worth talking about. As Sam's not near the microphone, Al?
Which is kind of near it, I think.
Possibly,
and James, we didn't talk about this, did we? But fat itself is an inflammatory crisis, isn't it? And people don't really always recognise that. It's not just a problem for your joints. It releases about 100 of these cytokines or adipokines.
More than 400.
Is it really that many?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I'm not a metabolism expert. and that can cause problems. It can increase your chance of cancer. It can increase your mood problems and all those things. We both have issues with weight. Mine is reduced since I stopped drinking, annoyingly. It's always the fucking annoying things that help, innit? Have you tried exercising more and not drinking and sleeping well and piss off? Just piss off with all that. I chose the idea for a theme because this morning when I first opened the script, it said metabolism. And I thought to myself, okay, let's do that.
Let's do that.
What about you, Sam? Did you write the script?
I have no editorial rights in this podcast whatsoever. I did not read the script. I did not know what we were doing, and I still don't.
And didn't even read it out.
What?
What?
Was there any thought or tip from the theme that you forgot to say, Alex?
Yeah, you know when we said we breathe out fat when we burn it?
You did.
The opposite metabolism. You know, sunflowers, when you or any plants, they don't grow from the soil. Have you ever thought about the fact that the soil level doesn't go down if you grow a massive sunflower? It's from the sun and the air.
Well, we know that. Everybody knows that.
I don't.
We're not idiots. Even I know that.
Just from the sun. Amazing.
Yeah.
I find that lovely. But loads of stuff. I also think we should talk about the dieting and the exercise in separate podcasts because it was so rich with things that are helpful for people with ADHD today. I was thinking that we could do so much on it, and that maybe how, because our top tips today I think were really good, but I would be thinking if I was listening to this, okay, you've said that, you know, feeling full can be changed and you can't do that, but how can we do that practically? And I think that's what we need to try and help our community a bit more with.
Yeah,
Sam,
maybe once we've answered some of the topic suggestions that have been suggested, we can do that. I don't know. I don't think I have a lot to add for this, to be honest, because it's not something that I struggle with. James.
Yeah, it's important for people to do things for the right reason and in a way that's going to enrich their life. So for lots of people, exercise and eating healthily is about maintaining weight, but actually exercising and eating healthy is also about your health. We know that a poor physical fitness, low cardiorespiratory fitness, is one of the biggest causes of premature death. So not exercising isn't just about your body shape, it's actually about your health as well. Eating healthily, eating the 5 fruit and veg a day, which is an arbitrary number. It's 13 in Japan, I think, or Norway, which we don't do in this country. I think on average we eat 3.7, and that's increased from 3.2 in 15 years worth of hard advertising. We still don't do it. I'll show you.
You can cut fruit with a knife.
Thank you, Sam.
And if you weighed it out, you'd have a whole fruit, and then you can just take 0.7 of that fruit.
You see, James, that's metabolism expertise there. Couldn't you have answered it like that?
Oh,
I'm sorry, James. Carry on.
There's no wonder I'm tired. You know, I'm tired, so tired. Again, all of this is so kind of anti-ADHD, because whenever you're coaching people with ADHD, if you're trying to improve your peaceful wildness, as Dickhead there calls it. ADHD is about habits and routines. It's about building habits, turning them into routines so that you can cope better. And exercise and our relationship with food are exactly the same as that. You know, and even in the non-ADHD population, people that go on diets or people that join the gym in January, you know, for most of them, it doesn't turn into a routine because of perceived barriers and actual barriers. And that's the last thing I'll say is that if you are struggling to engage with exercise, or if you are not eating the right food, have a genuine hard think about it. You know, is that a real barrier? If it's, well, I haven't got time to exercise, well, you can do 5 minutes of high intensity interval training, and that's as effective as an hour of running or cycling. So you have got time. If it's because, I can't afford the gym, you don't have to exercise in the gym. You can go for a walk for half an hour, 5 days a week, and that's a decent amount of exercise, etc. So have a good look at what you think the barriers are to having a healthier diet and to exercising more, and ask yourself a really hard question. Is that really a barrier, or is that something that I'm using as a reason to not eat healthier or to exercise? That's what I would add.
I just thought of something.
Okay.
Because obviously you said earlier, James, that the best way to lose weight is diet and exercise, but following that, you could just do it with diet alone if you can't exercise. And obviously to lose weight, you need to burn off more calories than you eat. So there are some really useful apps like MyFitnessPal, other apps are available, where you can put in, and it's got them pre-programmed in, so you can search for your food, put them all in, exactly what you've eaten that day, and it'll kind of work out how much you need to lose. But it's important to include everything, even alcohol and fizzy drinks.
I do it every day religiously.
Yeah, and that helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I did it too.
A very good one as well. That was episode 132 of the ADHD Adults with Mrs ADHD, Alex the Psychoeducation Monkey, and James Brann. It was the first Friday extra edition of the ADHD Adults podcast after the last one on metabolism, my expertise. If you like this and want to get involved, it's a real beats. Contact us using some kind of form on some kind of website, which may or may not be
ADHDadults.UK
or something. Have a lovely weekend. Goodbye.
Thank fuck.
Trigger warning klaxon. Klaxon, 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 big klaxon. Trigger warning klaxon. Klaxon. Klaxon, klaxon. Trigger warning, klaxon. Klaxon, klaxon.